Alright, so we're back and we're going to still continue on with some basic Illustrator art creation. On the last video that you guys saw, we made a gear and we used the Illustrator's array tool, for lack of a better word, but I call it an array because in the CAD world it's called an array. But let's also do one kind of old school, because sometimes you guys are going to want that individual control. So I'm going to make a little kind of a daisy petal, if you will. And we'll do it from scratch. So we're going to first create a little circle, and then we're going to create a little daisy or a flower petal. Select both of those items, and then you're going to align them together. So there it goes, right? So let's just, actually that's probably too big. Let's do that. Okay, so a couple of things. So now you have a circle, and then you have another one. Let's change that to a different color so you can see that it's a different artwork. Oops. Okay. All right. And what we want to do is we want to rotate this guy around this center point, right? So the thing with Illustrator is that there's all these kind of hidden tools or hidden options. So if you come up here and you go to rotate here, what it'll do is it'll rotate around the center of that shape. It's not what we want to do. We want to rotate around the center of here. I don't know if you guys can see it on your screen, but there's this little crosshair. So what happens is if you just click once, the crosshair becomes here. So then now you can see it rotates around that crosshair. But if I click again, it disappears. It sets here, and then if I click again, it kind of resets, and then you have to click twice. And then so if I set the center point here, and I want to set it somewhere else, like here, you want to click once, and then you see the cursor change. Here, let me do that again. See how my cursor is like a closed triangle? That means it's ready to rotate, meaning click and drag. But now, since that I've clicked and deselected, now it turns into this kind of a plus shape. That means it's looking for a center point. So I'm going to come down here and hit this path. Oh, no, not that. Click again and come to the center and click. And so now it's going to rotate around its center point. That as its new center point. And of course, if I want to make copy, I'm going to hold down the Alt. And then you see how I can kind of set it to whatever degree I want along that. And then once you let go, and then another like cool little Illustrator old school shortcut is Control D, which to repeat your last command, right? But this is I've kind of cheated, meaning I kind of rotated this thing and I was kind of locked into that angle, and by the time I got here, it's not equal spacing, right? So there's other options when you rotate or you do things. So I'm going to click away somewhere and then click again. So now it wants me to establish my center point, correct? So before I click, I'm going to hold down the Alt button. Oh, no. Yep. I'm going to hold down the Alt button and then click the center. Then it gives me a ability to dial in an angle, like 15 degrees, and I'm going to hit copy. And then I can go Control D, and it'll all be rotated at 15 degree, and it'll be equal spacing. So hopefully you guys got that part. It's an old school way of doing it, but the new tool in Illustrator with the object repeat radio, that was pretty nice too. So there you go, some little extra information for y'all.